There we go. Good day, good day, good day, good day, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Morning Sip with Reb Melissa. I am Reb Melissa, and this is Morning Sip. SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, welcome, everyone. I am so excited to be in this series, and I hope you are as well. So, let's get into it. So, yesterday I shared that I was inspired by a movie that I saw on Monday called Eternity. It was one of those unreleased movies that AMC does on some Mondays called Screen Unseen. So it's a surprise movie. You don't know what you're going to see. And I would tell you, 9 times out of 10, the movies that I see are amazing. They are. I saw Origins through Screen Unseen. I've seen so many really good movies through Screen Unseen. And Eternity was also a very good movie. So, what it inspired in me are questions. So, let me just share again what the plot is. And there's a couple of plot lines in it, but because it's Hollywood, because it's Hollywood, the plot line that I think most people will focus on is the love triangle, because there is a love triangle aspect to the movie. But underneath that, I think there is an invitation to take a closer look at living and how we're living and how we feel about how we're living. And the questions that came up for me that were triggered by the movie, one of the plot lines is you get to be the age you were at your happiest. So at the moment you make your transition and you're headed towards the afterlife, you transform into the age you were at your happiest. And you have no say in that. It just is. You like, that's the age you were at your happiest. And so that triggered me to think about what age would I become? Like, what age was I at my happiest? Am I at my happiest now? Am I at my happiest to come? So it triggered that question. What age would I be at my happiest? And that question also triggered sadness, which was really surprising to me when I was sharing with my daughter Zola about the movie, and I started crying when she asked me that question, because I said to her that was one of the premises of the movie. And then the second question that it raises is, in the movie, you are given the opportunity to choose the eternity that you wanted to live in for eternity, right? And it was all kinds of eternities. It was like a shopping mall of eternities that you can choose from. And once you made that choice, that was it for eternity. So if you could choose your eternity, what would you choose? So that also got me thinking. But that question didn't really make me sad. But that first one, if you could choose the age you were at your happiest, and that would be your age for eternity, what would that age be? What would that age be? So people got to spend eternity at the age that they were at their happiest. It's one of the plot lines for the movie. So I've been sitting with this, and I've been rather enjoying it, you know, because the I love I love questions. And I love questions that invite me to go deeper within myself and just to check in the nooks and crannies going on with me, you know? And I think that's why the movie really resonated with me because I am in a transition in my life. My girls are in college. I don't feel like I'm an empty nester. I just feel like it's different. And that difference is opening up other opportunities for me to explore, right? And that's exciting for me. And I'm also recognizing that there's more there for me to excavate. And so these questions are like an invitation for me. And I hope they are serving as an invitation for you as well. So yesterday I was thinking about happiness because happiness is not one of my words. My word is joy. And being happy is a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful state of being. And I got a little curious and I remembered that I read this book years ago called The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama, and he co-wrote it with a psychologist. And sure enough, I dug it up and I found it. So I'm going to share a little bit from this book today as it relates to this topic of eternity. And yesterday I was also sharing that, a question could be, is this life that we're living right now part of eternity? If eternity has no beginning and no end, then this life that we are living right now, is it a part of eternity? Is now a part of eternity? And for me, it is. For me, it is. And so I'm not looking at this, engaging with this through any religion or any religious lens. Okay? Because got some feedback yesterday from some of my Pentecostal friends, and they had lots to say about eternity and what I was saying. And everyone's entitled to their beliefs and all of the things, right? So we had a very riveting conversation about that. So for me, now is a part of eternity. Is how do you view eternity for yourself? How do you view happiness, right? So one of the things I did is I looked up, did a quick Google about happiness and joy. Because for me, happiness is more external and joy is a state of being. And so I want to share this first. Happiness is a temporary, often fleeting feeling tied to external events or circumstances, while joy is a more profound, enduring state of contentment and well-being that comes from within. Think of happiness as a reaction to good things happening, like receiving a gift, whereas joy is a more stable inner attitude that can coexist with difficult circumstances. So that's pretty much in alignment with the way in which I hold happiness and joy. And how do you hold happiness and joy? Whatever way you hold it it's fine. I have no opinion about it. But that's how I hold happiness and joy. And so when I went and got the book, The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama, and by the way, I met the Dalai Lama years ago. He was in New York and he was in Central Park doing like a visitation. So you could wait online and meet the Dalai Lama. And I went with my mentor who passed, Darwin, and we stood on this long line and we got to meet the Dalai Lama. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, when you are in the presence of someone who is love, it's just pure love. And that was my experience of him. So I want to share this. So this is co-authored by a psychiatrist, and he asked the Dalai Lama, is happiness a reasonable goal for most of us? He asked, is it really possible? And the Dalai Lama said, yes, I believe that happiness can be achieved through training the mind. So, and I had that highlighted. So when I read it years ago, that really resonated with me, just based on, my beliefs around how we create our lives through our thinking and our feeling tone. So he goes on to say, when I say training the mind in this context, I'm not referring to mind merely as one's cognitive ability or intellect. Rather, I'm using the term in the sense of the Tibetan word sim, which has a much broader meaning, closer to psyche or spirit. It includes intellect and feeling, heart and mind. By bringing about a certain inner discipline, we can undergo a transformation of attitude, our entire outlook and approach to living. When we speak of this inner discipline, we can, of course, involve many things, many methods. But generally speaking, one begins by identifying those factors which leads to happiness and those factors which lead to suffering. Having done this, one then sets about a gradual Having done this, one then sets about gradually eliminating those factors which lead to suffering and cultivating those which lead to happiness. That is the way. I love that so much. And his description of happiness, for me, is more in alignment with how I hold joy, right? It's an internal flow. It's the heart and mind in alignment, right? It is the element of thinking and the feeling tone, the pattern of thinking, the pattern of the feeling tone. So for me, this book could be called The Art of Joy, but he called it The Art of Happiness. And so that got me thinking, all right, so if that is the case, right? If it is inner discipline where we can undergo transformation of our attitude, right? Like transforming our attitude to an attitude of gratitude, to an attitude of peace, to an attitude of harmony, to an attitude of our quality that we have made a commitment to embodying, expressing, and experiencing more fully this year, right? If it's transformation, then it's expansive, right? It's not limited to anything that is external. And I think in the movie, that's where the focus is. It focuses on the external. And then there is a evolution that occurs. So I'm not going to give away what happens in case you'll want to go see Eternity. And I think it's worth seeing. But there is an evolvement that shifts from what I would say happiness to joy. That shifts from the external events that occur, right? I was happy when I gave birth to my girls. I was happy when I got married. I was happy when I graduated from seminary. I was happy, dot, 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 dot. Those are all very important events that occurred in my life. However, my state of joy is not predicated on those events. I hope that makes sense. My state of joy, right? The way that I hold my life isn't predicated on those external events. As wonderful and life changing as they were, my life, the joy, is not predicated on those things. So let me check in with y'all. Let me check in. Good day, Shay. Good day, Fee. Fee says, this is such a provocative topic for eternity. If you can choose your eternity, what would you choose? The age I was at my happiest, what age would that be? And I have to remain at that age. Yes, that's the whole deal, Fee. That's the whole deal. And you don't get to pick that age. It's like the energy, the universe says, okay, that's when she was her happiest. That's the age she's going to be. Right? Hello. And Linda, the Monday daily word, address, joy, and happiness. Oh, I'm gonna look for my daily word. I don't read my daily word every day. My go-to is my Science of Mind magazine, but I do have the daily word for November, so I'm going to check that out. Thank you, Linda, for that. So let me know how this is sitting with you all. Are you like, oh, Melissa, Red Melissa, come on, girl? Or is this sinking in some way in a nook or cranny? It did for me. So I'm sharing. So thank y'all for allowing me to share and to be open to whatever it moves in you, or it doesn't. It's all good. So we're going to continue with eternity. And we're going to continue a little bit with the art of happiness as well. So I think I might put this on my nightstand and make this one of my books that I'm going to read. So I'm going to check in again, and then we're going to get into some joy news. How do we get up on these movies? So say cool. Mondays, just check the schedule at AMC and at Regal Theaters. It's not every Monday, but it's at least one Monday a month. So it's random. You have to check. So like on Sunday, I'll check to see if they're showing. AMC calls it Screen Unseen, and Regal calls it Movie Mystery. They both used to be $5. Now they're like $9.50 at AMC. I don't know how much it is at Regal because I usually go to AMC. So there you go. That's how you get up on these movies. Your last description felt very Buddhist-centered. Well, yeah. Buddhist teaching to not be impacted negatively or positively based on external occurrences, meaning one's happiness is an internal process. Yes, Fee. And so for me, that's joy. Because I do hold happiness as an external concept. But yes, I agree with you with the Buddhist teachings. Linda, I'm struggling some with the eternity concept. Okay. All right. So sit with that, Linda. Maybe do some writing, inspirational journaling about what that is for you. And if you want to share some more, Please do. Please do. Fee, it resonates with me. I don't desire to bypass my sadness, anger, disappointment, and even failures. They've enhanced and helped me to appreciate feeling happy. Feeling and being happy has been my priority, my lifelong priority. Yes, Fee. Yes, Fee. And I support that 100%. 100%, girl. I'm with you. I am with you. I don't bypass any feelings. I feel my feelings. And sadness is one of those feelings that I really pay attention to. I really pay attention when sadness comes up for me, and I just let myself be with it. It's almost like a companion sometimes for me. All right, y'all. So let's get to some joy news. So today is Wednesday, and on Wednesday, we do offering that we call Community Cafe at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, where I am the spiritual leader. And so we invite you to join us today, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for our prayer works. So you could come if you have a prayer request, if you're struggling with something, if you're desiring something to be revealed, if you need to release, come and we will pray together. It's led by one of my practitioners at Rockland CSL, and it is a wonderful time to be in community with each other. You can go to rocklandcsl.org for the Zoom link. Just look under events and you will see Community Cafe. All right. All right. So that's the joy news I have to share. Heads up. Let me share this. We will be doing our 30-day mental diet. 30-day mental diet in the new year in January. So get ready now. And I have a surprise for y'all. Those of you who decide to take the 30-day mental diet journey with me for the first time or for the 5th time, it doesn't matter. You will be I'm not going to share. I'll tell y'all later. So planting the seed now to join me for the 30-day mental diet journey starting in January. And as we get closer, I will share more details. All right, y'all. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful today. Remember the questions that we're sitting with, right? What age would you be that was your happiest? What age would that be for you? And if you could choose eternity, what would that be for you? If you could choose eternity, what would that be for you? All right? All right. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.